complete lie. Why do people buy these papers and it's not the truth? And I'm here to say, you know, do not judge a person. Do not pass judgment on anyone unless you have talked to them one-on-one. I don't care what the story is. Do not judge them because it's a lie.
Before social media, there was no faster way to shape public opinion than a newspaper headline. And for years, Michael Jackson seemed to be on the front page for all the wrong reasons. But here's what many people forget. Behind almost every headline was an interview where Michael told a very different story. Some rumors he laughed at, others he denied completely. And some questions revealed just how quickly public opinion had turned against him.
You should not say he's an animal. Should not say he's Jacko. I'm not a Jacko. I'm Jackson.
There was a time when it seemed Michael Jackson could do no wrong. Thriller wasn't just breaking records, it was changing the music industry forever. Everywhere he went, the crowds grew bigger. The stories became even more unbelievable, and every new release felt like another worldwide event. At the height of his success, it seemed the world just couldn't get enough of him.
How are you feeling at this time about the success of Thriller? I mean, the music business isn't exactly going gangbusters, and yet you continue to sell records so well.
Every time I get a platinum album, it's never taken lightly on my behalf. I'm always honored and very happy that the public enjoy what I do, and I'll continue to put my heart into my work.
At that point, the conversation around Michael was completely different. Interviewers wanted to know the secret behind his success. Newspapers celebrated his achievements, and his music seemed to connect with almost everyone who heard it. The spotlight was still on the records he was breaking, the performances he was delivering, and the incredible career he was building, not the rumors that would eventually follow.
Do you think that you're able to cross over when so many others aren't able to, from R&B to pop? I mean, it's like a natural for you. You have something within your records that everybody just loves.
Boy, I couldn't say. I just created it, and I'm honored that the public enjoy what I do. I couldn't explain why, the anatomy of why it happens.
There's a formula?
Not that I know of. It's my heart. I put my heart in it.
During those years, Michael was known for his music more than anything. Headlines focused on his records, interviewers wanted to talk about his creative process, and every public appearance reminded people why he had become one of the biggest entertainers in the world. For a while, his talent remained the biggest story, but it wouldn't stay that way forever. The focus slowly began to shift. It started with stories that had nothing to do with the music. Instead of talking about sold-out shows or record-breaking albums, cameras followed Michael everywhere he went. Even arriving in Japan with his pet chimpanzee, Bubbles, became front-page news. Before long, the media wasn't just covering Michael's career anymore. His personal life was becoming entertainment in its own right.
All of the staff of the city government of Osaka are very happy to have you visit the city hall in spite of the very busy time schedule of the Japan tour. And especially that having a chimpanzee as an official guest of the city is the first time for the history of the city of Osaka.
When people hear the name Bubbles today, they usually think of one of the biggest tabloid stories of the 1980s. The media didn't simply report that Michael owned a chimpanzee. They used it as another reason to portray him as unusual or weird. Michael always insisted Bubbles was simply his pet, but the coverage transformed that relationship into another bizarre image that followed him for years.
I expected chimps to be jumping all over the living room, and I didn't see any. Where's Bubbles?
Well, the animals are everywhere. They're in their habitats. They're all over the ranch. And they come out in the daytime, and they play, and they jump around. They have their own playground in their area.
To Michael, though, the story was much simpler than the tabloids suggested. He described Bubbles as nothing more than a beloved pet and explained that his love of animals came from the same qualities he admired most in children: honesty, innocence, and unconditional friendship. It was a personal explanation that sounded very different from the public image being created around him.
Why were you so fascinated by animals, do you think?
Because I find in animals the same thing that I find so wonderful in children, that purity, that honesty, where they don't judge you, they don't want anything from you, just to be your friend. And I think that's so sweet.
But the Bubbles story wasn't the only rumor spreading around the world. Before long, another strange story captured even more attention. a photograph of Michael inside a hyperbaric oxygen chamber appeared in newspapers across the globe, helping turn another tabloid claim into one of the most recognizable stories of his career. But when Michael finally addressed it himself, his explanation sounded far less sensational than the version many people had already accepted.
I cannot find the oxygen chamber anywhere in the house.
That story is so crazy. I mean, it's one of those tabloid things. It was completely made up.
Okay, but there you are in something there. There's a picture of you.
Well,
where did that come from? How did it get started?
I did a commercial for Pepsi, and I was burned very badly. And we settled for like it was $1 million, and I gave all the money. We built this place called the Michael Jackson Burn Center. And that's a piece of technology that's used for burn victims, right?
The hyperbaric chamber story became much more than another rumor. A single photograph convinced many people that Michael slept inside the chamber every night to stay young. He insisted that wasn't true. According to him, the photo had been taken while he was visiting a medical facility after donating money to a burn center. Once the image reached the newspapers, the explanation never spread as quickly as the story itself.
So I'm looking at the piece of technology, I'm touching it, feeling it, and decide to just go inside of it just to hammer around. Somebody takes a picture. When they process the picture, the person who processes the picture say, oh, Michael Jackson. He made a copy. These pictures went all over the world with this lie attached to it. It's a complete lie. Why do people buy these papers and it's not the truth? And I'm here to say, you know, do not judge a person. Do not pass judgment on anyone unless you have talked to them one-on-one. I don't care what the story is. Do not judge them because it's a lie.
Not long after the oxygen chamber story, another media narrative began spreading around the world. This time, newspapers claimed Michael was trying to buy the Elephant Man's bones. It sounded unbelievable, yet it quickly became another story attached to his name. When Oprah eventually asked him about it, Michael dismissed the rumor, explaining that while he admired the Elephant Man's story, he had never tried to buy the bones.
Did you buy the Elephant Man's bones? Were you trying to get them?
That's another stupid story. I love the story of the Elephant Man. It reminds me of me a lot. You know, I could relate to it. It made me cry because I saw myself in the story. But no, I never asked for the Elephant Man. Where am I going to put some bones?
I don't know.
And why would I want a pair of bones?
For Michael, the issue was never just one rumor. He believed the real problem was how quickly these stories spread and how often they were repeated. In his view, once the same press coverage appeared enough times, many people stopped questioning whether it was true and simply accepted it as fact.
So where did that come from?
Someone makes it up and everybody believes it. If you hear a lie often enough, you hear it enough, you start to believe it.
Yes, and people make money selling tabloids. All right.
As more and more stories piled up, they gradually became part of the same public image. That's when a new nickname started appearing in headlines around the world: Wacko Jacko. First popularized by the British tabloids, it quickly spread through newspapers and television, making almost every news story about Michael fit the same narrative, whether it had anything to do with his music or not.
How do you feel when they call you
Wacko Jacko? Where'd that come from? Some English tabloid. I have a heart and I have feelings. I feel that when you do that to me. It's not nice. Don't do it. I'm not a wacko.
Before long, the rumors weren't just about bubbles or strange press coverage. People became increasingly fascinated by Michael's appearance. As the speculation grew, another question began following him everywhere he went. This time, it wasn't about his lifestyle. It was about the changing color of his skin. For years, newspapers and television shows claimed he was deliberately trying to change the way he looked. When Oprah finally asked him about it directly, Michael gave a very different explanation.
Then let's go to the thing that is most discussed about you, I think, is the fact that the color of your skin is obviously different than it was when you were younger.
Yes.
And so I think it has caused a great deal of speculation and controversy as to what you have done or are doing. Are you bleaching your skin? And is your skin lighter because you don't like being black?
Okay, number one, as I know of, there is no such thing as skin bleaching. I have never seen it.
No rumor followed Michael longer than the speculation surrounding his skin. As his appearance changed over the years, many people assumed they already knew the reason. But when Oprah asked him about it directly, Michael described it very differently. He explained that he had a skin condition called vitiligo that affected his pigmentation and spoke openly about how deeply the constant rumors and public judgment had hurt him.
I have a skin disorder. that destroys the pigmentation of the skin is something that I cannot help, okay? But when people make up stories that I don't want to be who I am, it hurts me.
So it is.
It's a problem for me, okay? I can't control it, okay?
Questions about Michael's appearance didn't stop with his skin. Soon, plastic surgery became another topic that followed him for years. It was mentioned so often that Oprah eventually asked him about it directly, giving Michael another opportunity to respond to claims that had been circulating for years instead of speaking through tabloid coverage.
How much plastic surgery have you had?
Very, very little. You can count them on 2 fingers. I mean, let's say this. If you want to know about those things, all the nosy people in the world,
But once we say it, we don't have to say it anymore.
Read my book, Moonwalker. It's in my book.
For Michael, the bigger issue wasn't that people asked about plastic surgery, it was how the speculation kept growing. He said that while he had openly acknowledged having work done on his nose, many of the other stories about his appearance simply weren't true. Even so, those rumors continued to follow him year after year, becoming accepted by many people without any real evidence.
Okay, did you start having plastic surgery because of those teen years, because of not liking the way you look?
No, not really.
Not really?
No, it's only 2 things. Read it, get my book. It's no big deal.
Okay. You don't want to tell me what it is? You had your nose done, obviously.
Yeah, but so did a lot of people that I know.
Yeah. And so, when you hear all these things about you, and there have been more than we
But
are
I've
even
never had my cheekbones done, never had my eyes done, never had my lips done and all this stuff. They just go too far. I mean, it's crazy. But this is something that happens like every day.
Michael acknowledged having surgery on his nose, explaining that it helped him breathe better and improved his singing. But he firmly pushed back against the many other stories surrounding his appearance, saying the rumors had grown far beyond what was actually true. In his view, one confirmed procedure had been turned into years of endless speculation.
You know, you physically changed, haven't you? The photographs of you, if I look at them
No, it's
from...
called adolescence. It's called growing and changing.
Yeah, but even the shape of your face has changed.
No, it has not. I've had no plastic surgery on my face, just my nose.
The speculation didn't end there. Michael was still being asked about his appearance and whether he had changed more than he admitted. Once again, he rejected many of the claims, saying the rumors had grown far beyond the truth. Despite answering the same questions repeatedly, the public conversation rarely seemed to move on.
If I look at some of the photographs of you in your adolescence...
Yeah, I changed. People change.
But even after, when you did the Thriller album, your lips are very different now to what they were then. But they do look different.
No, sorry.
You don't think
Same
so?
lips. Nope.
But you know, on a serious point, in some ways I can understand it, because...
I'm happy with my lips.
There was a time when Michael's interviews were almost entirely about the music. Reporters wanted to know how he created his albums, where his ideas came from, and what inspired his performances. Those conversations focused on his creativity and artistry. It was a very different atmosphere from the one that would come to define many of his later interviews.
How do you feel now that the album is out?
I feel rejuvenated, kind of, because after working on it so long, it's so much work. A lot of people, they're used to just seeing the outcome of work. They never see the side of the work you go through to produce the outcome. And I feel, you know, rejuvenated and happy. It's a jubilation, really, is what it is. It's like a celebration. It's like, we're done.
But things change. And amid all other allegations and rumors, the media started creating stories about Neverland. Michael didn't build Neverland as a celebrity mansion. He said he built it to recreate the childhood he never had. Over time, Neverland became one of the biggest symbols of his public image. But long before it became the subject of endless speculation, Michael described it as something deeply personal, a place built around the childhood he felt he had missed, filled with the experiences he had always wished he could have growing up.
What inspired you to make a home like this?
What inspired me? It was so easy because it was me being myself, creating things that I love. And what I love, kids happen to love, or the child that lives inside the adult happens to love. You know, it is so easy because I'm just putting behind the gates everything I never got to do when I was a kid.
Michael often said his connection with children came from his own childhood. He believed children accepted people without judging them, and he saw in them the innocence he felt had been taken from him while growing up. It was a belief he returned to consistently whenever he was asked to explain that part of his life and the purpose behind Neverland.
I feel totally at home with them. I can talk to them one-on-one because they don't judge you. You know, they're not looking for anything. They just want to have some fun, you know. And that's the same with myself. And I can connect to that, you know. I can understand that. And the fact that I missed out on so much as a child. As soon as they come in the room, for me, the room lights up.
The biggest turning point came in 2002. He agreed to one of the most personal interviews of his career. He gave journalist Martin Bashir unprecedented access to his life, opening the gates of Neverland and allowing cameras to follow him. He insisted the documentary would finally allow people to see the real person behind years of media narrative. But when it finally aired, he felt the story being told was very different from the one he believed he had agreed to share.
I love, kids happen to love, or the child that lives inside the adult. You know, it is so easy because I'm just putting behind the gates everything I never got to do when I was a kid.
The Neverland interview opened by presenting Michael's world as magical and unique. But the tone changed once the old allegations entered the conversation. Suddenly, Neverland was no longer being presented as a place built around childhood and imagination. Instead, it was being examined through a far more suspicious lens, changing the direction of the interview completely.
Like everyone, knew that 10 years ago, children were being invited to sleep over at Neverland. One of them, a 13-year-old boy, accused Jackson of sex, a claim that cost him millions of dollars. I'd assumed that now he'd be more cautious. But to my utter astonishment, I discovered that children were still sleeping over, sometimes in his house, sometimes in his bedroom.
As the interview continued, Bashir kept pressing Michael about children being around him. And this was where the difference between Michael's perspective and the media's perspective became especially clear. Michael spoke about giving love, comfort, and support to children. Bashir repeatedly steered the conversation toward suspicion, leaving Michael feeling that his intentions and his character were being misunderstood.
But Michael, you know, you're a 44-year-old man now. What do you get out of this? What do you get out of this?
He's 4.
Yeah, I'm 4. I love, I feel, see, I think what they get from me, I get from them. I've said it many times, my greatest inspiration comes from kids.
The media attention reached a new level in 2003. The questions surrounding Michael had become far more serious than the rumors of previous years. He sat down with Ed Bradley and was asked directly about the allegations. Michael firmly denied the claims, calling them completely false. When asked about his relationship with the boy at the center of the allegations, he said it was no different from the relationships he had built with many other sick and disadvantaged children over the years. He explained that helping children had always been an important part of his life and his charitable work.
What is your response to the allegations that were brought by the district attorney in Santa Barbara that you molested this boy?
Totally false. Before I would hurt a child, I would slit my wrists. I would never hurt a child. These are totally false. I was outraged.
How would you characterize your relationship with this boy?
I've helped many, many, many children, thousands of children. Cancer kids, leukemia kids. This is one of many.
As the scrutiny intensified, even ordinary moments in Michael's life were viewed differently. The balcony incident became another defining headline. Just a few seconds of footage were broadcast around the world, triggering widespread criticism and non-stop media coverage. When he was later asked about it directly, Michael said the moment had been presented without its full context and explained why he believed the public had been left with the wrong impression.
But Michael, if you dangle blanket over a balcony, you are going to be severely criticized.
No, because...
Was there no one in the room who would say, Michael, don't do it?
My governesses were up there.
And they didn't say no?
No, because I was holding that baby strong, hard, tight.
No, that's exactly what I'm saying, though.
You know, and I've seen
you know better.
People that flip their kids up in the air, do somersaults and catch them.
And, you know, I get caught up in the moment, let's hold it on tight. Just let them give a wave. And, but this is, and it happens for like 2 seconds. But when it gets on the news, they slow it down. They don't show the crowd. It makes me look like I'm this eccentric idiot dangling his baby over a balcony like a nut.
As the media attention continued, Barbara Walters asked Michael about the constant coverage surrounding his life. Michael pushed back against the idea that he was responsible for the media circus around him. He argued that much of the spectacle came from the media itself, with reporters following his every move and turning private moments into public stories. More than anything, he believed that being famous didn't mean giving up every part of his personal life. He could perform for millions, release music, and live in the public eye, while still expecting some parts of his life to remain private.
There are those who would say that you add to the attention.
No, I don't.
Well, the masks, the mysterious behavior.
There's no mysterious behavior. There's a time when I give a concert, I like to have as many people want to come can come and enjoy the show. And there's a time where you like to be in private when you put on your pajamas, go to sleep.
I don't want this to sound insulting. I'm just going to be straight with you. But you are somewhat eccentric, to say the least. The way you dress, the way you look, it invites attention. The whole appearance as you are was larger than life, more extreme. You don't think that calls the paparazzi to you?
Maybe I like to live that way. I like to dress that way. I don't want paparazzi, really. But if they come, be kind. Write the right kind thing to write.
Michael felt the attention had gone far beyond his music. Interviews became headlines, public appearances became front-page stories, and photographers followed him almost everywhere. Speaking with Barbara Walters, he said he had spent much of his life hiding from and running from the paparazzi. Looking back, one thing is clear. Millions saw the headlines long before they heard Michael's side of the story.
The tabloid press, that kind of press, not the press, the tabloid, the paparazzi, that type. I've been running for my life like that, hiding, getting away. You can't go that way because they're over there. Well, let's go this way. Pretend we're going that way and we'll go that way. Somebody should say, hold on, stop. This person deserved their privacy.
If you want more breakdowns like this, hit like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments.